Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the English News of Binh Phuoc radio, television stations, and newspaper. I'm Binh Phuoc with the latest news for today. Binh Phuoc improving quality of cashew exports. Binh Phuoc moving to conserve intangible cultural heritage. The 9th Global Conference of Young Parliamentarians opened in Hanoi. Ladies and gentlemen, known as the country's largest cashew grower, Binh Phuoc province has restructured its cashew production sector toward using new technology and focusing on product quality and consumer safety.
In addition to carefully selecting input materials, local cashew producers and processors have also made bold investment in modern machinery and equipment to improve product quality and safety. The application of new technology has not only helped them reduce production costs and cut production time, but also enhanced the reputation of Binh Phuoc cashew brand, meeting the requirements of export markets. Binh Phuoc province now has 280 businesses and more than 400 other establishments engaged in cashew trading and processing. The province has established over 40 working groups and cooperatives with more than 500 members. In order to earn export revenue of $1 billion annually, Binh Phuoc is building its own cashew brand, focusing on improving the added value of product chains through deep processing. It's also introducing mechanisms to encourage cashew businesses and growers to strengthen their links.
Binh Phuoc province will actively take part in major cultural events on a national and regional scale and increase communication activity to promote its art culture. Such activities are part of the province's effort to implement a prime ministerial decision approving a master program on cultural development in the 2023-2025 period in Binh Phuoc province.
The Provincial People's Committee has assigned the Department of Culture, Sports and Tourism to build dossiers on intangible cultural heritage sites and items that are at risk of being lost and in need of urgent protection. The province will promote the collection of ancient and rare documents of special historical, culture, and scientific value. It will also apply information technology and boost digital transformation in preserving the value of intangible and tangible cultural heritage. The People's Committee of districts, towns, and cities are to associate heritage conservation programs with socioeconomic development plans and pay attention to allocating sufficient resources and funds to such activities. Other tasks include meeting local people's needs in cultural enjoyment and improving their cultural and spiritual lives, and building cultural, sports, and entertainment areas for children in industrial parks, ethnic minority areas, and extremely difficult areas. The province will reserve reasonable land funds in favorable locations for the construction of cultural works.
Leading the planting of trees at a key talk associated with local sustainable development, Binh Phuoc province has paid due regard to afforestation, forest restoration, and environmental protection programs.
The annual tree planting plan in Binh Phuoc has become an emulation movement involving all sectors, organizations, residential areas, schools, industrial parks, and offices. The province has set a goal of planting, caring for, and protecting nearly 1 million trees of all types each year. In 2022 alone, Binh Phuoc planted nearly 220,000 trees under a prime ministerial project on planting 1 billion trees in 2021-2025 period. In the first 8 months of this year, it planted an estimated 800 hectares of trees.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 9th Global Conference of Young Parliamentarians hosted by the National Assembly of Vietnam and the Inter-Parliamentary Unions opened in Hanoi on September the 15th.
The opening ceremony was co-chaired by Vietnamese NH Chairman Nguyen Dinh Huệ, IPU President Dati Pachko, IPU Secretary General Martin Chung Gong, and President of the IPU Forum of Young Parliamentarians Dan Carden, among others. It was attended by more than 300 young parliamentarians and delegates from over 70 IPU member parliaments, representatives of international organizations, and others. In his opening remarks, NA Chairman Hui asked participants to focus their attention to several issues, including what should be done and how to promote the compliance with and upholding of international law and the UN Charter. The top legislator of Vietnam also called on participants to look into ways for bringing into play the cultural and human values during sustainable development. In addition, he also suggested the IPU consider establishing a global network of young parliamentarians for innovation to share countries' experience. Vietnamese State President Vo Van Thuong also sent his message to the conference. In his speech, IPU Secretary General Chung Gong applauded Vietnam's substantial strides in multiple fields, including digital technology, with a strong commitment to combining technology with youth empowerment.
A book was launched by the Latin American news agency Prensa Latina in Havana on September the 13th, marking the 50th anniversary of the Cuba leader's historic visit to Vietnam.
At the launch of the book Fidel Castro, Our Blood for Vietnam, Prensa Latina President Luis Enrique Gonzalez said the book is a collaboration between Prensa Latina and Vietnam News Agency. The 76-page book gathers dozens of images that mark a milestone in the relations and fraternity between Cuba and Vietnam. Vietnamese ambassador to Cuba Lê Thanh Tùng said the book contributes to helping young Cuban and Vietnamese people to have a better understanding of countless efforts by their older generations to build and nurture the two countries' relations, which have been passed down generations to them.
Ladies and gentlemen, tourists to Koto Island district in Quảng Ninh province will be banned from bringing plastic bags and single-use plastic straws to its island from September the 15th.
This mandatory requirement has been announced by the authorities of the island district 1 year after Koto encouraged local people and tourists not to use single-use plastic items. The decision is aimed at curbing plastic waste and marine pollution. Administrative bodies, schools, markets, and businesses, as well as fishing vessels in the island district, will be prohibited from using plastic bags and disposable plastic items. The island district has established a monitoring team at the Koto Wharf so that not only locals and tourists, but also passenger and cargo ships that don't comply with this regulation will not be allowed to dock at the wharf.
And that's all for the news today. Thank you for watching BPTV News. Goodbye and see you next time.